Welcome back. We're continuing our coverage after an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania last night. We're bringing in our News 9's political analyst, Scott Mitchell. All right, let's just start with what changes after this?
Everything.
Yeah.
All right, number one, nobody's talking about Joe Biden getting out of the race. Okay? Number two, Joe Biden has taken down all of his campaign ads. So it's not only virtue signaling, it's real deal. He's saying we've got to not do these sorts of things. We've got to calm this down. They've pulled the ads. Now it's up to the Republican side to see how they'll handle this today. And by the end of the day, I think we'll understand whether they want to bring the temperature down or whip it up. So the former president survived this. Now we'll see how people are going to react. After about 24 hours of thoughts and prayers, we'll see where this really goes.
We saw President Biden come out and speak immediately after. Did he do well speaking right after?
He did exactly what you need to do. I mean, this is the sort of thing you've got to take the temperature down. And we don't know anything really about what the motivation of this shooter was, but what we do know is that this is a divided country with lots of emotions on both sides. And this is the sort of thing, this is like throwing a match on a tinder pile, okay? So this is what's happening. And it's all going to be about behavior. There'll be a lot of signaling about what we want to do, but we'll see if the deeds match the words.
Overnight, we finally heard about who this suspect is. It's a 20-year-old, basically a kid. He hasn't even voted in a presidential election yet. What was he thinking going through this? I mean, he was 150 yards away from the former president.
Well, number one, the Secret Service needs to get ready for conspiracy theories 101. They're going to be blaming them. There's video of what was going on around there. I don't know, but I mean, the Speaker of the House has already signaled we're going to get into some hearings, and that's going to be political. Number two, you have to think about what Secret Service people do. They put their lives on the line. They did yesterday. I still think about Timothy McCarthy, who stood in front of John Hinckley and took a bullet for Ronald Reagan. So they're going to be in the crosshairs. The second thing is going to be speculation today ad nauseum about mental illness and political motivation, and it's just people are just going to have to sit back. Violence in politics, it doesn't go back to Reagan. It goes back to the last few years. We have people roaming the Capitol 4 years ago saying, hang Mike Pence. Political violence has become as American as apple pie. It's a sad thing. There'll be pearl clutching, wringing of hands, but nothing will get done.
I said 150 yards away. He was on a roof with a rifle. Who was to blame for allowing this to happen?
Well, there's a projection there that I'd have to say. When you see there's video of the sniper, the counter sniper, kind of clutching, right? But that's where I was referring to the Secret Service. There's going to be the blame game. We always have to do that in America. Somebody's got to be to blame. Nobody wants to own these things. And so that will be part of the equation, and that's what will take 24 hours before we start understanding what really happened.
Really, right now, our environment's very hostile in politics. It's something we do not talk about anymore at a dinner table around people. Does this change after this?
No. I mean, mass murder after political violence, there's always going to be a hearing, and there's always going to be, what do we do? It's the same, it's been going on for tens and tens and tens of years. There are no answers. Some of the answers that people want to have are not convenient. I mean, they're not going to be good. So the point is that this will be the same for a long time. But we're going right into this convention. And it's the middle of a contested presidential election. There is still the Biden issue, whether or not that he'll stay or go. A lot of this, the signals are going to come from Donald Trump. I mean, we've got to see how Donald Trump reacts to this. If he reacts like, and listen, anybody that gets shot is going to be making, no telling how they're going to react. But if you see the ads of the fight, the fist pump, that's going to be a signal to his followers. And we've seen what happens when his followers get all riled up.
Does this change the outcome of this year's election?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, he was convicted of 34 counts. Nobody's talked about that since the Biden debate performance. It's like it never happened.
We keep on going from one thing to another thing to another thing.
This is exactly right. You're going to, there will be something else by Thursday that's grabbed the headlines, and this will be forgotten. I mean, it's terrible to say, but that's just the way that this script is playing out. We're still 3.5 months away. And so for anybody who thinks we can start, that's why I laugh at the polls. Nobody understands what is going to happen in November in the middle of July.
Yeah. John Eccles is in, he's at the RNC right now. We're going to speak to him live in just a few moments. But I mean, you guys have been texting, you all have been talking. What was the immediate reaction?
Shock.
Gosh.
Right? Total shock. People wondering about, like, what do we do now? How is this going to go? Again, what John has said, that we just don't understand. Nothing's ever happened like this with this sort of timing, right, before a convention. And so right now, the people in Milwaukee are just like everybody else. Where's this going to go? Everybody's going to see and wait for the signal from the Republican nominee, the former president.
And I only have about 20 seconds left, but I want to say, does this change who the vice president could possibly be for Donald Trump?
No, I think that decision's been made. I think that calculus is made, polling's made, he knows what he's going to do, and that will be part of the spectacle this week.
Absolutely. Scott Mitchell, thank you for joining us
My
this
pleasure.
morning. I woke you up, and I really appreciate it.
You bet.